Rollin', 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 rollin'.
Right. Mothman Museum. What was the town? Did you catch the name of the town?
I'll look it up real quick.
Okay. Point Pleasant, yes, West Virginia. The famous Mothman. That was on the movie of Mothman Prophecies. That's pretty cool. And there's see, I can honestly say I've not seen that. Look at all the gear. Oh, and there it is. Oh, it looks like it's from the 80s or something. Maybe the 90s. Is that? Oh, that's a different one. Pretty. Oh, no, that's that one. Pretty neat. They've acquired the movie merch. I guess you haven't lived until you've seen the Mothman Museum. We're actually in the Harley Davidson, the Mothman Harley Davidson. And we're like, okay, let's go see the statue. It's like 2 hours away. We get here, and there's a museum. Wow, look at all the clippings. Yeah, you can find any information on Mothman. A lot of the weird science YouTubers do it. Conspiracy guys. Mystery guys. Oh, he's talking about it. Yeah, the articles just go on and on and on and on. Pretty cool. Diner and the Mothman. Now show it.
The capital of Mason County, Point Pleasant is a tight-knit community of 5,000, where everyone knows their neighbors, where life moves at the simple and welcoming pace found in the rural South.
Everybody thinks of hillbillies when they think of West Virginia. They were not hillbillies, and they were not the kind of people that would make these things up.
Since the 18th century, farmers have made a good living from this fertile land along the banks of the Ohio and Kanawha rivers. Researcher Dan Drazen visited Point Pleasant in 1966 to investigate the strange sightings.
People seem like ordinary people, very friendly, matter-of-fact folks. What you see is what you get. I felt very welcome in the town.
Just north of town is a densely overgrown wildlife preserve, much of it almost inaccessible. But hidden beneath the thick brush is evidence of a grim history. Part of the area had been used during World War II as a place to covertly manufacture and store munitions. Remnants of a factory still stand, along with almost 100 large concrete domes that were built into the ground to house the high explosives. Because of its past, locals dubbed it the TNT area. That's where Marcella Bennett was headed on the night of November 16, 1966. She and her brother were bringing her 3-year-old daughter to visit relatives who lived on the outskirts of the TNT area. As they pulled up near the house, they spotted some strange lights in the sky that hovered above the trees. Marcella's brother was mesmerized.
I told him I didn't want to see any lights, and he says, no, stop. He says, you gotta look at this. This isn't a plane. And I said, oh, sure, you know. And I just kept on walking towards the car.
She was carrying her daughter when suddenly a figure stirred nearby.
I had just approached the car, and out of the corner of my eyes, I saw this creature, which was over 6 foot tall with feathers. It just looked like a giant bird, but yet a man. And it was standing with its shoulders and then its neck down in like this. I just couldn't imagine what I was seeing and panicked, and when I tried to run, I couldn't run.
In a state of shock, Marcella fell to the ground, directly on top of her little girl.
I couldn't get up to get off of her, and I thought, well, you know, she's dead. You know, I'm killing her, but I couldn't move. You know, it was just, I was in a trance.
Finally pulling herself together, she picked up her child and ran towards the house.
When I finally did get up to my feet and get my feet working, I realized that my knees were all torn up and my hands and my face had been buried in the sand. I couldn't see. And I thought I heard the creature fly off with these real loud flopping wings, you know, made a real loud sound.
The family locked themselves inside the house, but hysteria gripped them as the creature reappeared, shuffling onto the porch and peering into the windows. The police were summoned, but it had vanished by the time they arrived.
Not as kind of froze. It was terrifying. Once you see nothing, that was enough.
There's very little humor in these stories. These are people who are genuinely terrified or genuinely puzzled.
John Keel became convinced that something very serious and very real was going on. But no one knew what it was, why it was there, or what it meant. More sightings would be reported, and not just of the creature. The situation was about to become even more terrifying.
Mr. Klein, Dick, I gotta talk to you. Last night I woke up with the worst headache I've ever had in my life, and I went into the bathroom.
Have you seen that?
To get some aspirin, and I happened to look in the mirror, and I swear to God, I see something I can't describe.
Continued to be reported around Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Not only were eyewitnesses terrified and emotionally disturbed by their encounters, but some were even physically affected, exhibiting strange burns on their skin and inflamed, swollen eyes.
I woke up and
So we didn't watch the whole movie. Watched some of it. UFOs and Mothman. original draft. Crazy.
But then, you had, the movies were coming out, John Keel's book, and different little things were popping up saying, hey, every time something bad happens, there's a sighting of this creature.
The idea that it was a harbinger of doom was sort of baked into the book. And then, as I was adapting it for the movie, that also
I think it smelled like an alien
I
there.
wanted to make that there was, obviously that sort of gives the story the propulsion that it had, the feeling that all of this stuff was leading to something.
Because of circumstantial events that happened, Mothman has been kind of labeled as this harbinger of doom. He's been allegedly sighted, and before Chernobyl happened, after 9/11. Of course,
TNT Dynamite. Okay.
And some of them
Mothman.
That's true. Some people believe that it created the disaster. Others say no, it just coincided.